This AskReddit user asks, what feels illegal but actually isn't? Drinking alcohol on the Strip in Las Vegas. Even though my friends lived there. I checked the laws on my phone just to make sure. If I ever visit the US, I will have to actively remind myself that it's illegal to drink in public. Felt really smart drinking from a brown bag in an NYC subway. Got a ticket. You just need to drink from a container that isn't associated with alcohol. Water bottle. Thermos. McDonald's cup. Whatever. Asking your own money back. Buying booze. I look much younger than I am and always get carded. I'm so anxious when purchasing booze, and that probably doesn't help. The cashiers always give me the stink eye and examine my ID for way too long. Coughing in public. This is hilarious because lately people sort of mumble or complain about their allergies after coughing or sneezing just to make sure you don't think they have the virus. Even if they weren't talking to you. Headed to the doctor last week. Chewing gum behind my mask to freshen my breath. Just as they open the door to the lobby, I breathe a bit of my saliva. So I spend the entire time I'm in the lobby coughing and telling people I just breathed my spit. SMH. Coughing because you inhaled something. Particularly a liquid. Sounds different than coughing from sickness or allergies. At least, when it happens to me. I can recognize the difference. Does it sound different from another person's perspective? Googling info about breaking the law or other crimes. Just Googling it makes me feel like I'm watchlisted. When all I want us to do is hear about what went down and how they did or didn't get away with it. You hear that, FBI agent assigned to my account? I am just a curious citizen. Not a person of interest. Lol, I do backyard chemistry and was recently exploring the limitations and regulations of hazardous chemicals and drug precursors in order to keep my experiments legal. I've just defaulted to "everyone should know about all laws" as my response when people ask me why I know details about a law. Pretty sure I'm on an FBI watch list because one time I Google searched if someone were to assassinate the president. How would it happen? Because I was genuinely curious how no president has been assassinated since JFK, and especially how nobody has even come close to offing Donald Trump despite the entire planet almost universally hating him. At the local Walmart, they restricted 1 pack of toilet paper per customer due to the COVID-19 outbreak. If you come into the store with a friend, relative, you could get more than 1 pack of toilet paper if you purchase them separately. The Walmart employees in my area don't really care about it and can't do anything about it anyways. 'Cause by definition, you are one customer. You gotta understand my situation though. I live in a household of 13 people. So one wasn't going to cut it. We needed at least 2 or 3. Being honest with people about wanting to go home when I'm at a friend's house. My social circle is very good about that kind of thing. We're comfortable leaving when we want or kicking people when the hosts are done hosting. It's funny it took so long for us to get comfortable being honest like that. But everyone goes through that. Why should it be awkward? I'm done looking at UFS. See you all later. Quote. Paying for groceries at the pharmacy desk and then walking past the grocery cashier without saying anything. Yes. I do this every month when I refill my prescriptions, and I usually pick up a bag of potato chips and some Oreos while I'm there. I'm too cheap to pay for a plastic bag, so I just walk out the store carrying my junk food and drugs. Smoking weed on the street in front of a cop. Not illegal in Canada, but really feels like it. Just make sure it's not outside the entrance to a business. It still applies to no smoking policies. Not everywhere in Canada. Here we can only do it in the privacy of our homes. Buying something from a PN shop that is valued 10x more than they have it listed for just because one of the employees didn't know what they were selling. I need to know now, what did you get? Not op, but I once bought a GameCube with Pokémon Coliseum in it for £5.50 from a charity shop. UK. I did ask if they were sure, but they said that's how much they wanted for it. Stonks. But for real. How can you price something you don't know the price at all? Passing a police car on the highway. I once honked at a police car because the light had turned green and they didn't go for like 10 seconds. I didn't realize it was a police car until after. I was mortified, but apparently it's not illegal. Once I was driving and someone was blinding me with their high beams from the opposite lane. I started honking and rapidly flashing my high beams. They turned them off, and as I could now see, I realized it was a cop. I have done something similar before. I was picking up a friend in a parking lot and it was dark. A random truck decided to shine their brights on me while we were both stopped. I decided to do the same. It was apparently a cop as they came over to speak with me. Hiring a babysitter for the first time. Hear me out. The first time I hired a complete stranger to watch my kids. It was so FG weird. My daughter was 18 months at the most. And I just waved goodbye and gave someone my cell phone number and PAs. So strange. Not quite this. But when my oldest was younger, I'd drop him off at daycare every morning. Every morning. He'd grab my coat and scream "BY murder" like I was depositing him at Kitty Torture Inc. I'd walk down the hall feeling like the worst father ever. I'd call later to check on him and he was perfectly fine the second I left. A few months of this and he began to enjoy going to daycare. They had tons of toys and his friends were there. So drop-off went from him screaming to him instantly running off to play. I didn't even get a "goodbye daddy." I'd have to chase him down for a goodbye kiss, hug. Then, I'd leave wondering if my son cared about me at all. I honestly don't know which was worse. 5 years later. At 4:30. She's crawling in their bed. And as he drops her off at preschool, she's clinging to his leg. The teacher peels her off of him. He says, "What can I do?" Single quote. She says, "Now you just don't worry. This will only last a week or two." Darius Rucker. That song and "You're Gonna Miss This" as a parent just ripped my heart out. Turning right on red near a cop. Doing anything near a cop makes you wonder if it's illegal. Not wanting to be killed by a cop is considered illegal by cops. Left on red is even more fun. I have a one-way to one-way turn where that is legal and it always feels so wrong. It is also in front of the police station lol. Clicking on the "Yes, I'm older than 18." Or clicking on "Yes, I have read the terms and conditions." Facing backwards in an elevator. Only a sociopath would do this. Years ago, I convinced my family to all face the wall in an elevator even when someone came in on a different floor. It was way funnier to us than the person who got on and rode 20 floors with us. That would be so creepy to anyone not in on the joke. Especially if no one said a word for the whole ride. As a man, walking into an all-gender restroom and seeing only women in there. Yes. My high school was kind of old and had both boys' and girls' bathrooms, so they decided to update it. The thing is, they only made the girls' bathrooms gender neutral. I think because of urinal stuff. But that just essentially made it a female bathroom with a different name. Especially considering the male bathroom was right next to it. WTF. That's just wrong. Either do it for both or don't do it for either. Ever worked on plumbing before? It can be a hassle and a half. Taking the ducks from the pond. Law enforcement doesn't want you to know. But the ducks are free. You can take them home. I have 453 ducks at home. What are their names? I regret clicking on this comment. I don't. Taking a sick day from work. It feels twice as illegal when you do so because you're just not feeling it mentally that day. I found myself doing this somewhat frequently. Close to once a month. Towards the end of my tenure at my last job. That's when I knew it was time to make a change. Me too. I spend so much time caring about work and others. I need to take random days off of work. Now that I actually get paid days off and always working too hard. It's time I cared about myself. I actually would like to have such rule in any job. Paid or non-paid days off, to have mandatory days off once a month or something. My brother has a job like that. Every month he has to take 2 days off he must take off. You like it or not? Going out of a supermarket without buying anything. And going to a clothing store. Especially since there are usually so many people greeting you and asking if you need help. I feel like I'm suspicious when I walk in but don't buy anything. I used to care until I started working in a clothing store. Then I realized 99% of the workers don't care or just waiting for their shift to be over. Unless they work on commission. Then it's a different, much more annoying ball game. Any place or store. Oh God, I hate that feeling. I feel like I'm going to be suspected of stealing something for just leaving. There's been times when I've bought something just to avoid feeling that way, the awkward moment. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more videos.